What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of From the Logo Podcast. We got ZZ, Gifted, Bama, and myself, Hayes, in the building. Bama's been out on podcast PTO the last couple of weeks. How you feeling, brother? You all moved in? You good?
New digs, bro.
I'm not all moved in. I got my couch on the way, you know what I'm saying, my TV, but I moved in, man. I got a bed and it's not on the floor. So that's the most important part. You know what I mean? Make sure your bed is not on the floor, chat. Like, a lot of y'all sleep with beds on the floor. Grow the fuck up.
I used to always have this saying. This is back even when I was younger. If you show up to a chick crib and her bed on the floor, leave. Immediately. Get up out of here.
Because whatever you got in your wallet will be gone in the morning.
And mattresses, bed frames don't even cost that much no more. You can get a solid one off Amazon for like $80.
$80.
Yeah. That's facts.
Yeah, it is what it is there. But hey, guys, we got some great topics to get into today. The main one, which I'm really excited to get into, NBA teams that are cooked. I'm going to go through team by team. I'm going to ask you guys, how cooked are they? We're going to have a discussion based on that. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with the main cooked team, at least by my estimation. That's the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns, KD is going to be out for a week. We already have heard things like KD is going to be moved this offseason. It came out, I think, earlier today, though, that the Phoenix Suns are also open to signing KD to an extension, which is just weird to me at this point in time. How cooked are the Phoenix Suns? They don't own their own draft pick. They are outside the play-in right now. How cooked are the Suns?
Boy, the Suns are cooked. I didn't believe in this team at the beginning of the season. I still thought that, okay, they'll at least be in the mix to be like a 5 seed, 6 seed, whatever, like cool. Never in my wildest dreams would I thought we would be this late into the season. Dallas would trade Luka Doncic. The rest of their roster is going through it, and the Suns still cannot get into the 10 seed. They are cooked. Like, they legitimately look like a Eastern Conference team in the West. That's what it would look like, right? Where they're legitimately matching the caliber of some of those Eastern Conference bottom feeders. The funny part is the other bad teams in the West, i.e. a team like the Jazz or even the injured Pelicans, have looked better than them in some of these games. I've been so disappointed with the process from the Suns. And the crazy part is this is kind of a healthier year for them with Durant and Booker, and they're still not able to convert these things into wins. It really speaks to the true lack of roster construction. And to Hayes' point, the picks are gone. Like, you're going to have to really get it out the mud. You have to find a way to get Bradley Beal off your team. Good luck with that shit. No trade clause, which you knew when you signed him. Yeah, man, it's up for them. I think they're very cooked. I think, like, if I had to rank them in terms of the other teams we're going to talk about, they got to be, like, the most, if not the second most cooked team on this list for me.
They're the most. They're the most. And
yeah,
to give this point about going into the season and their expectations. Look, first of all, niggas got to stop talking to the national. Like, if they end up like John Morant when he said we were fine in the West. This is setup. If you end up in a situation like that where they about to air your interview at 2 p.m. on a Sunday,
cut it, bro.
Don't do that. Please don't do that. All right. Now, I look at Devin Booker, and I say that because I remember him saying, you can't guard all of us. Nigga, they don't have to. God, y'all don't have a point guard. And it's not going to be a situation where, like from the moment that they went and got Bradley Beal, like Gifta said, with the no trade clause, you're getting an aging superstar who his back is deteriorating at the rate of 92 Bird, and you still are just going to sit there and be like, all right, yeah, he good. Like, we Devin Booker can facilitate sometimes on random Tuesdays. Like, nobody want to see that. And then the offense itself, like, they're seventh, I think, let me make sure I'm right. 7th in offensive rating, yeah, 27th in defensive rating. 20th in net rating, their strength of schedule 20th out of 30. Like, they just, everything about this team screams just mediocrity, for lack of a better term, mediocrity. And it shouldn't be like that when you have two of the best scorers in isolation scorers, pure scorers, bucket getters, however you want to call it, in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Somebody in the chat said free Kevin Durant. Damn straight. All right. At this point, KD's career has been a roller coaster. All right. I find myself missing 2021 second round Kevin Durant a lot. Okay, because he had to literally put that team on his back. And the expectations I remember at that time were, can Kevin Durant carry this team without James Harden, without Kyrie Irving? He carried them to 7 games, and it came down to his foot being on the line. All right, he gave us 40, 15, and 10 in a playoff game, numbers that we ain't seen before that late in a series before, right? So I say all that to say, we haven't been able to see playoff KD because the last time they was in the playoffs last season, they got swept. They had walked out with they walked in with the same amount of wins as Draymond and walked out with the same amount of wins as Draymond. And you know what I'm saying? Shit is crazy. So, but it shouldn't be this way, Hayes. And I say that in a multitude of different ways. It shouldn't be this way, one, for that core, but it also shouldn't be this way for the future of this team because they're cooked. They don't have no answers. There's no wiggle room here. You want to trade Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal gonna look you in your eyes and say, no, go get me a soda. And then Devin Booker, you now find yourself with, that's your franchise player. Now you're in conversations where, like you said, Hayes, how you gonna go from we're looking to explore Kevin Durant in the offseason to, hey, look, we could give him an extension. And I remember, what was it, a year and a half ago, they was, we want Kevin Durant to ride off into the sunset, no pun intended. That nigga don't want to be there. That nigga wants to be on the contender. And look, at this stage in his career, Kevin Durant should not be worried about repercussions from fans if he decides to up and join the Rockets or something. I don't know. Like, at this point, get him on a contender that makes some sense. Get him on a team that makes sense, that can hide his flaws and fill the holes of a point guard, at least in some capacity. That's what Kevin Durant got to do now. I ain't worried about the Suns. They cook. Fuck them. Like, I ain't worried about nothing. Jesus.
Bama.
Said this the last time I was on, man. They was cooked once. They made it to the finals, and they added everybody. And the team magically got worse. That was the beginning of the end right there. Then they got their buddy over there, and they gave up the whole team. Like, so I get it. It's basketball. There's less people. But again, you just got to be, dude, you can't give up your whole, it requires so much to win. Like, it's not just having the best players on a roster. That just doesn't always get wins. Like I said, they don't have a point guard. They don't have a big. They don't have a six. They don't have a lot of shit that they need in order to win a game. They don't have somebody that can get a consistent stop for them because you got 3 scorers. Like, Booker and KD both can play defense, but let's just be honest. That's not their job down the stretch. Their job is to get tough buckets in crucial situations. So they don't have somebody else to do the dirty work, man. It is. What's that shit, Benny Hanna? What he be doing at 7 a.m.? Hibachi, bro. That shit over with over here. That shit sizzling. Like, that shit so cooked, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
Because you can see games where KD will be baller and they'll just still be losing, bro. Just because it's once he goes out, it's over with. Like, it's nothing else. Free KD, bro. I'm in the middle because I respect KD. KD, a basketball savant. He love the game. Part of it is his fault. Because I say this, Chad. You ever did a group project with your friends and you flunked because y'all enjoy each other's company too much? Like, sometimes doing group project with your friends isn't always the answer. Like, yeah, it's cool,
You're right,
like, to sit by them and, be around them. But sometimes when it comes time to do projects that affects your grade, sometimes you got to go mess with the nerd. Sometimes you got to go mess with the kid you normally don't always talk to because it's just what's beneficial to get the end result that you want. They got all of their buddies on one team. Let's just be honest. That shit hit the fan. It was worse than Russ and James Harden. It was worse than that.
It actually was worse than Russ and James Harden.
Yeah. It was.
Let Bama cook, bro, because he just cooked that. That was a hell of an analogy.
That was a good point.
So I don't know, man. It's other cook teams on this list, dog. But when I just think about it, dude, I don't care. Like you said, they might be the most cooked, bro.
The reason the reason Bama probably said he don't care is because you look at like Philadelphia on this list. Like I said before, the expectations for Philadelphia, if you
ZZ, whoa.
Nah, Nah,
Whoa,
nigga.
bro, you fast
Nah.
forward in the Philly immediately. Okay.
Yeah, we about to get. We ain't even done with Phoenix yet.
Look,
You
I
ready?
got-
ZZ just
hold
ready to
We
cook
didn't let
Philly.
Hayes
Damn.
go.
I got a bone to
Let
pick.
Hayes cook.
I got a bone to pick with
I see that.
Philadelphia.
I see that bone.
And y'all know why. But but I will say, in terms of Phoenix compared to let's just say the other teams on this list, including
Yeah.
Milwaukee, right? Because in Milwaukee's case, they get kind of, I don't know how much leeway they get. I just know it's more than Phoenix because one, they had a terrible start to the year, terrible start to the year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for them to turn it around to the point where you can legitimately say, all right, they were once bottom feeding in the Eastern Conference, and now they're playoff contenders. Now everything look right, whatever. They didn't figure out something. And then when you look at, like, I done watched a handful of Milwaukee Bucks games this year. Their offense, like, I remember when the trade went down, we were like, that pick and roll gonna be crazy. We was shit on Torian Prince last year. Not you, Gifted. All right, for sure. But look. When you look at this team this year, like, they don't really need to run that. You got those plug-in guys. What's the dude's name? Andre Jackson Jr. for them. And then Torian Prince. That nigga, that somehow, some way, he didn't improve as a 3-point shooter, especially from the corner. But I guess the Darvin Ham effect is real over there, even if he is assistant coach. But the team as a whole, you're relying on. We're gonna get into it. You're relying on a lot of the championship core that's still left over, like a 36-year-old Brook Lopez, who is still serviceable. But, like, how sustainable is that? It's still more sustainable than Phoenix. Philadelphia got Paul George, Joel Embiid on potentially one leg, and then Jared McCain's injury to worry about, but he'll be back next year. And then Tyrese Maxey, they know he a bucket. They know, let's certify he next up. It's still a better situation than Phoenix, bro. Phoenix has no way out, like an old WWE pay-per-view.
And that's why that's why they are so cooked, because you don't have any draft picks coming in, so you can't even hope for a shot in the arm of young talent. You're over the second tax apron, so you can't even trade multiple players to try to get out of that, right? You have to at least make one trade where you're probably not getting much of anything back just to get under the second tax apron. And so, like, not only has Phoenix turned themselves into a cautionary tale of trying to manufacture a super team, they've also turned themselves into the poster child of why so many teams are going to look at the second tax apron and say, we don't want that shit.
Facts.
Yeah, I 100% have to be there with you. It's another thing to watch the basketball team play and seeing Phoenix play. Like, they look like they're just not cohesive. The body language is terrible. Seeing KD yell at the coach.
You know what it is? You know how hopefully none of y'all have ever been in this situation. You ever been living with somebody you was dating and the relationship ends, but you still got 6 months left on your lease, so nobody moves out? That's exactly what that feels like.
That sounds brutal, right there.
That's when you got to wake up every day and you got to hide your toothbrush because you like, this motherfucker may do some crazy shit.
Yo, that's cool. Oh my God,
these are hella analogies.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Let me ask y'all this before we move on to the next thing.
KD got to wake up in the middle of the night, man. Just go where he eat. He got to find peace. He can't even wait on the train.
Got to go where the wind
wake up in the middle of the night and catch a Greyhound to Houston or Minnesota. Like,
I'm just saying, you knew it was bad when, like, after the trade deadline ended, they were talking about, we're thinking about trading Kevin Durant. And, like, after the deadline, I was like, oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Bro, they didn't even make it a day past the deadline. It was literally like the day of the deadline. Like, we wanted to trade Kevin Durant. He didn't really want to go. We'll see y'all in the offseason. Last question on Phoenix before we move on.
Sure.
Can they get themselves, is trading KD enough? Or do you think they should also be looking to trade Devin Booker to just clean the deck, get as many assets back as possible, and try to make a complete new fresh start?
So where I'm at with it, a full blow up on paper sounds like the right thing to do, but we've seen some teams that go for blow up and are bad for several years. I don't think Phoenix can handle being that after the long tenure of years they had losing games. I feel like the more reasonable option would be to trade Kevin Durant. Try to get Beal off your team if you can't rock out that contract or whatever, and cook up with your franchise player being your guy, and then try to get some other guys around him in the next offseason. Because, again, 2026 is the year where you want all your cap space. So get a bunch of expiring contracts, get under the second apron. To me, that has to be the primary goal. No matter what happens, get under that second apron to open up flexibility. That's got to be their biggest thing for me. So if it takes a Booker trade and KD trade to get the best value, you do it, but don't just do it to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to be smart with it. Like, for example, if they're shopping Kevin Durant, see what you can get on the market. Don't just have one conversation with a specific person from Los Angeles and throw in one draft pick and then Max Christie. You know what I'm saying? You gotta actually see what you can get, because like Gifted said, trade the only route to go to get to that point is trading one of the two best scorers on your team. You got to wait out. I'm looking at their payroll right now. They got to wait out until 2026, 2027 for Bradley Beal to be on last year, where he has the player option of $57 million.
Which he's opting in so fast on that too.
Yes.
I know that's opting in.
His agent already got the paperwork sent over. Like, it's just been.
It's already done.
Yeah, it's just.
No, it's done.
He said, "Don't even worry about it, Twin. I got you."
He already did the full taxes on that year. Done. It's finished.
No, facts. But anyway, that's what it is. Like, they got to wait for that, and then Devin Booker locked down until 2028. The thing with this big three, I call them big 50s, because that's all they making. KD $50 million this year. Bradley Beal $50 million this year. Devin Booker, you might as well say he's making $50 million. It's $49,205,800. That you might as well go ahead and give him that $50 million. And then next year they all gonna be making north of close to $55 million a piece. So like, all this money for all this ass might as well be a strip club. Like, good Lord, bro, this shit is crazy. They can't do nothing. They genuinely can't do nothing. Gifted, if they do that, if they go shop Kevin Durant, let me ask all y'all this question. What's the problem? I know Kevin Durant has the higher probability of getting traded between himself and Devin Booker.
For sure.
But where is the probability in a Devin Booker trade with or without KD getting traded? I
feel like there's no way in hell they trade Booker before Durant. I think to even entertain him being traded, KD would also have to be traded first, or even at the same time in some big 3-team, 4-team deal. I can't imagine they extend Kevin Durant and trade Booker unless you're trading Booker for another win now player with KD. And even then, does that best suit Phoenix to become that type of team? I really don't know. So I'm assuming the Booker piece of it doesn't happen unless Durant is moved first.
Got you.
All right, good stuff. Anything left on Phoenix, Bam? Before you've been quiet, I want to make sure. Okay, cool. Let's move
y'all
on
know
to the
they're
next.
not going to do the responsible thing.
Who's not going to do the responsible thing?
No, they're just saying y'all gave a whole breakdown of how they should be responsible with trading and
they probably won't.
I'm going to let y'all know they not.
They're gonna do the complete fucking opposite.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's why I did bring up the news that came out today saying that they're open to signing KD to an extension. Nigga, what? What?
I have a theory on that, by the way. Hayes.
Go ahead.
So like, I have two theories, right? One of them is acting as if Durant is accepting the situation and is thinking about re-signing is something they're putting out there to make teams that were interested in Durant think, okay, he might re-sign if we don't move on this, if we're not active quickly in the offseason to raise value. Or number two, they legitimately are thinking of giving him another year where his money can become slightly more bigger, and then you can like trade it in the next season. For Durant, it makes sense because you set yourself up for one more big 2-year payday, and then next year get traded. Those are my only two ways. It still feels weird, but those are my only two predictions right now for them.
Yeah.
Fair.
I like that.
All right, let's move on to the next one, man. Philly season. After an offseason in which Philly had a lot of cap flexibility, they wanted to build something around Joel Embiid. And the idea that I think we all had when we talked about Philly and coming into the offseason was that they needed to build a team that was going to be good enough to keep at least winning games and stay afloat. So that way, whenever Joel Embiid's healthy, they're good to go. They signed Paul George to a long-term deal. They draft Jared McCain, who was probably going to be Rookie of the Year this year before he went down with injury. But literally nothing has gone to plan for them. They, at the beginning of the season, they couldn't get Maxey, Paul George, and Embiid on the floor together. I don't even know how many games they ended up playing together, all three of them at all this season. There was only a handful of them. Joel Embiid's hurt again. There's some conversation and thought that he may have the same surgery that Lonzo Ball had, which is automatically going to put him out 12 to 16 months, maybe even longer because he's a lot bigger than Lonzo Ball. Philly, I don't think, and I'll start this one off real quick. I don't think they're as cooked as like a Phoenix because they do have their own draft picks. Some of them, not all of them. They do at least have McCain. They do have Tyrese Maxey as young players that if they were to decide to pivot off the veterans, they have at least 2 young players right now. They may have another one this draft that they can do something with. But how do you guys feel about Philly and how cooked they are?
Oh, man. So, like, I know I just said the Suns are probably the most cooked, but I'm telling you, Philly has an argument to be more cooked. And the reason why is you sign Paul George for over $200 million. And within one season of play, you already said in season, you're flirting with trading Paul George this offseason. So the fact that you made that level of investment and one season in, you're thinking about trading that investment is tough. That means you're going to be stuck with that contract as it ages. It's more movable because, again, there is no like clause where they can't trade Paul George. It's possible. But also your best player has to have a operation that's going to break off a part of his body to put less pressure on his joints, which would keep him out longer. And then even on top of that, is he going to come back and be right? I don't know. And then you have the rest of the roster where you have a lot of guys who were signed there this year on like a 1-year deal or like a expiring deal. So most of the roster is probably going to look different for Philadelphia next year as well. Nick Nurse had a lot of moments this year where he was just making questionable coaching decisions as well. So I'm looking at all of that, and it's like, damn, where does Philly go? Because it seems like they have to ask themselves, are we trading Joel Embiid? And I have no idea what his value is. I have no idea what book that opens, but they just extended Joel Embiid as well. So I think from a cap perspective, they're in a very difficult position. They have a bit more draft capital assets than Phoenix, sure. But this is a team that, just like Phoenix, no one had them not in the play-in. Like, they're done for the season.
Yeah. And that's another thing too with this Philly team. I like how you mentioned the point about the expiring deals on the veteran players, or not even the veteran players, but the players that filled out the role spots that they needed to fill out. Like Hayes said, we talked about in the offseason, this Philadelphia team took a chance. And for me, when I look at Philadelphia, especially my expectations of the team going into the season, I remember saying, when it comes to before Paul George even got there, anything that Philadelphia does, and at the time they were pursuing Paul George, they were in the hunt just like the Warriors were a long time ago, thank God. But I remember saying Philadelphia has to do whatever they can so that they can get away from the ceiling of the second round and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what they've been trying to do for 10 years now. Multiple iterations of different players have played with Joel Embiid. Like, I'm sorry. Let's just keep it a buck, all right? And I love Joel Embiid when he's healthy. But God damn it, if I haven't had my favorite player of all time is Derrick Rose. So how many years you think I didn't had dealing with if he's healthy? All right? To the point where I'm like, all right, let's face facts here. Joel Embiid has played with Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick, James Harden, now Paul George, different Montrezl Harrell when he was still kind of decent, like just different iterations of role players and star players to help kind of lead this team over the hump. And every single time it hasn't worked out. And the one time that it came the closest was when Kawhi's shot bounced around 8 times, and it was a game 7 to go to the conference finals. So for me, the process error, and then I forgot to mention Ben Simmons. So they've had draft lottery luck, number 1 pick luck. And in some of those instances, like Markelle Fultz, like who could have ever saw that situation unfolding with him not being able to shoot? But Ben Simmons was literally being compared to LeBron James at one point.
Nasty ass work. Holy shit, that was
nasty work in 2025. But damn it, this, like, come on now. This man has had so many different eras of Philadelphia basketball. That's the thing that pisses me off the most, because now we're in the Paul George era, which is the era where you have a 34-year-old aging star who's still trying to get one last bag, and you are the desperate team that just watched James Harden give you 2 years of playing one of those years with the MVP Joel Embiid, and you still couldn't get over the hump. So for me, Philadelphia, in terms of my expectations for them, what can go wrong will go wrong with Philadelphia. That's my thing.
The city of Philly kind of cooked Markelle Fultz though. That injury he had was bad. It took a lot of injuries take a lot more time than what people think they are. The same way I said with the Warriors, they low-key could play because it's just like certain times you got to let players just take their time. Like everybody is not LeBron. Everybody can't come back 2 weeks after certain injuries, bro. Like some people take 2 years, months, but the reason why I think Philly is not as cooked as the Suns, what Hayes alluded to, they got Maxey, they got Jared McCain, they got some youth to hang on at least for 2 more years, right? With Maxey. I think they can get rid of Embiid for some pieces around it. Honestly, I think this, man. I think the basketball guys, whether y'all think they real or not, I think the basketball guys are just done with that three superstar team lineup because it seemed like when you got 3 superstars, everybody say the same thing. Well, they never on the court at the same time. Like same thing with Reeves. I mean, I don't even know if you want to call Reeves a superstar, but Reeves, Luka, Bron, they rarely on the floor at the same time. KD, Harden, and Kyrie, they was rarely on the floor at the same time. Same thing with Bill. You barely can get all of them on the court at the same time. And that is the whole reason we got them, is to have them on the court at the same time. Like that's the whole reason of getting these dudes. So I just feel like it's something with the basketball guys are just saying no. Since KD did it, he put some bad juju on the NBA. Like that jump was crazy. But I think the Sixers are cooked. But at the end of the day, when I see youth, I see it's still hope. I see it's still light at the end of the tunnel. We can't make mistakes like getting Paul George. I always tell people after the age of 26, an athlete is pretty much who they are. If they do X, Y, and Z, they go do X, Y, and Z for the next 10 years. I get so sick of just because of how smooth he is. They expect Paul George to be something completely different. If you put him in a different situation, I just think Paul George is good, great player. Not saying he's bad, but I just think what you see is what you get with him. This is
yeah.
I don't think he's necessarily always gonna. In this case, they thought he was going to elevate the process. I don't think that's him. I think he can go in and be a good complementary piece to something you got good going on, already. But I don't think
that is going to be what gifted Hayes. Y'all remember before the season started, I was like, if Paul George goes over there and becomes a third option, right, underneath and what they already have working with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. Shit, when Joel was healthy last year, him and Maxey and that pick and roll was deadly at times, a lot of times when they was really getting it going. If Paul George can't go in there and shoot 17 shots a game, like he can't do that. No, you can go in there and you can pick up on the defensive end. Shit, take some lessons with Kelly Oubre because that's for some reason their best perimeter defender on multiple nights this year. But take some lessons from him on how to just impact another area of the basketball game other than what you would have done in Indiana or Oklahoma City or Los Angeles, right? Tyrese Maxey, like my whole thing with it was they can go get Paul George, cool. They ain't had to give him all that much money, but that's their fault. That's their business. As long as he come over and doesn't stunt the growth of Tyrese Maxey and the fact that we know, like Bama just said, we know Maxey one of them ones that's next up for them. Jared McCain is another one of them ones. If push comes to shove, the way that I feel like this Philadelphia process era is going to end is Joel Embiid getting traded. Now, in 3 years' time, this nigga's going to be making $62 million. So basically, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm like, hey, look, you got 3 years to make a decision here, buddy. If you think this will be enough to get you to the conference finals, which even then, if they make it to the conference finals, like the Tyrese Maxey and Trae Young have been to a conference finals before Joel Embiid has. The process era is dead. It's been dead.
Yeah, that's what's cooked. The process is cooked. It's done.
Yeah.
But don't overlook Daryl Morey to do some weird shit though. That's the thing about all this, right? And where Philly's next year is $30 million below the second tax apron. They got a lot of space if they do want to do something crazy. And we know that Daryl Morey is not against doing some weird shit. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna be any takers on Paul George's contract, or whatever. We'll see what they do there. I think, but Philly having McCain and Maxey does give them a little bit. Like, Bam, I don't know how much you smoke, but or grill, but Phoenix is an overcooked brisket. There ain't shit you can do with an overcooked brisket. You overcook a brisket, there ain't shit you can do with it. It's done. It's dog food. You throw it away. It's charcoal at that point. Overcooked. Philly right now is getting to the point of being a well turkey breast. You still can do a little bit with it. You got a little bit with it. That's where it is right now.
I just didn't think really what it is. I didn't think me myself personally. I didn't think Sis was gonna be that good when he hit the league. Jared McCain, Sis, man. I just thought with all the antics, him doing all the TikTok hip dances, gyrating his hips, I didn't think that boy was gonna be a real life killer on the court the way he is. That boy is a
hey, bro. The thing is, we getting old. There's gonna be more basketball players like McCain than not in the next couple of years, bro.
But Hayes, listen.
He on the court. He's a dog.
Oh, I don't think a lot of kids, because Hayes, I work with the youth. A lot of kids ain't got that switch. Whatever that switch is, little buddy got to where he could be sassy. But I'm trying to tell you, bro, like he seems like if you look at him on the court, that boy see red. Like I ain't like he's scared. He got that look in his eyes to where it's like you playing with him now. You know what I mean? Like he was, yeah.
My thing with Jared all season. I wish he didn't get hurt because bro would have took that rookie of the year course clean. But my thing with him at the early part of the season was I was like, yo, you can say whatever you want about him. And the funny thing is that you said that, Bama, the discourse around him when he got drafted in a comment section compared to up until when he got hurt. Now everybody's showing him love because, like you said, he one of them players you can't let him see two go through the net. He one of them players, and he a rookie. If he do, you in for a long night. Because if he he painting his nails like Jeff Hardy and shooting like Curry. Nigga, what's going on? Like, bro, different. Genuinely.
I mean, Jeff Hardy was indeed different.
Let me ask y'all this question. Yeah, Jeff Hardy was.
When he gets back, right? When he gets back, and let's say in a hypothetical world, chat chime in on this too. Hypothetical world, Joel Embiid gets traded, right? They start building around Maxey and McCain. What areas of both of their games do you think that they would need to improve upon in order for Philly to be successful in that rebuild? Or do you think they would just try to fill out the holes of everything that they're like lacking? Like y'all see what I'm saying? Like McCain, for example, I would want him to be more of aggressive perimeter defender, maybe, right? Something like that. For Maxey, he's been a solid playmaker, not anything like too crazy, but that would be an area I think that he could work on if he's going to have the ball in his hand more, especially if him and McCain are going to be some sort of shooting duo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those areas that I would want to see. But what y'all think?
I think they build it sort of in a similar situation, not the same way, of course, but how Boston got it. Both of those guys can play defense, but I think if you get a team full of defenders to amplify them playing good defense and say, this is really what we want you guys to lock in to be great perimeter defenders and set up those key defenders around them to help enforce them playing perimeter defense. Like I said, with Drew Holiday, White, Tatum, and Brown can kind of like, they play defense, but this full defensive load isn't always on them, but it still initiates the defensive paralysis, what we want. We want to be up on you. We want to make it hard for you to be on the perimeter. Like, I feel like they could take that same approach. And like I said, on the offensive end, you got two killers on the wing. Like, you got two killers. So now I think, I don't know what you compare with that for us in the post, though. Like, y'all would have to help me on that.
You probably gonna have to look at the Cleveland blueprint for real. Just based off of like, you know what I'm saying? Just based off undersized backcourt to an extent. And then if you just got two twin towers, if they do get beat, like Donovan Mitchell was doing that shit all the time in Utah, where it was like him, unless Mike Conley was there, I guess his knees was working that day. But
yeah.
other than that, like I see your point, Bama. They would have to probably look at a formula like that. Isaiah Thomas, y'all remember when he was going crazy in the 20 he averaged 29 a game that year? That team was the thing I loved the most about that team was the way they built it. They said, we know he can't defend, so we'll give him Avery Bradley and Jay Crowder and Marcus Smart and Al Horford and you know what I'm saying? They just built around all of his deficiencies. So yeah, they probably take that route.
I think the problem that I have with this team and why I do think they're cooked, ironically, I think Jerry McCain is evidence that they're cooked. The fact that he had a stretch where he was the second best player on this team with Paul George on the floor, what it was, is very concerning. And also, I'm sorry, but like as good of a player as McCain is, the two small ball backcourts where you have guards that just aren't that tall, that doesn't like bowl well to me for the future. I think you want to have a team that has multiple positions who can guard, not a bunch of redundancy. I think McCain is a phenomenal shooter. I think he can also pass and play make well, but I think that's more suited on this team, at least early on in a bench role, just because of the defensive upside you're not going to have by having him and Tyrese out there. I think the issue that I've had with this team for a long time is for several years now, they have not updated what they really needed to update. And to me, that is getting a playable power forward who can rebound, pass, and be a connector next to Joel Embiid. They got close with Yabu, but Yabu's like more of like a good piece as a spark plug, but the rebounding has been their biggest issue and concern, and they have not addressed that. They're going to have to make some adjustment to this for sure in the offseason, regardless if you trade Paul George or not. Like that 5 isn't really complete to me still.
Here's the thing. How much of it in this offseason do you think that Joel Embiid should be a factor in? Like what they do, how much should Joel Embiid literally be a factor in that?
I mean, my problem is like they mentioned the main surgery that he can go through and he would miss a lot of time, but that should make it easier on him. My problem is he hasn't had the surgery yet. That surgery has like a 9 or maybe 10-month thing. So if he gets it late into this offseason, he might miss the whole season next year. So to me, it's like if you're the front office, you right now have to ask yourself, are we going to try to win in these next 2 years with Joel Embiid, or was this the breaking point? What's going to happen in Philly? And we really have no answer for you right now.
I know professional sports medicine is a lot more smarter than what I am, but my question always, how bad is his knee? How many times are going to keep digging in that knee too? I don't know.
How bad is it?
It might have reached a breaking point this season, Hayes.
It's Swiss cheese in there, bro. Like literally, when they're talking about taking off a part of your body to ease up some of the pressure, it's cooked.
Yeah, bro.
Like Hayes said, and I get it. Embiid is a phenomenal talent. I know what I know. If I'm just thinking, if I'm a GM, right? Like Embiid is a phenomenal talent. Dog.
Great player.
It's hard to just see that go away from a knee. Like you're gonna. It's just it's no way that knee is, because you're gonna be telling yourself it's no way his knee is that bad to where he can't be what we just saw him averaging 31. There's no way he can't be there. It's something we can do. But like what Hayes said, once you having to start do weird shit, like take a chunk of your body off, like dog, you gotta throw. That's why I always
you gotta break something in your body to get the air off of your joints to heal up in a better way, so it's less pressure. Like once you say something like that, it's already sketchy. But the sketchier thing is he knew about this surgery months ago and still hasn't gotten it. So to me, like that is an indicator that maybe he doesn't want to get the surgery. He's overall dragging his feet. And I'm sorry, but if he's dragging his feet, if Embiid's not playing, this team isn't a playoff team. They're just not. Right? Like I don't know if I can trust Paul George.
Can they be a play-in team?
I can't even tell you that because no. I legitimately do not know the answer to that because these Eastern teams are getting better. Detroit is a team a lot of people counted out They're clearly going to be a team to be competitive in this conference. The Hornets, if they wind up drafting Flag in the first round, they're going to be a suit. Like, there's teams that are going to make shifts up. The Sixers don't have that same luxury if they have to make it through a whole season again with A, no Joel Embiid, or B, a Paul George player who's also injury prone, who was hurt this season, and also straight up just wasn't that good this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Hayes.
He wasn't. I mean, he was dog water this season.
That's why they're cooked to me too. Like, I hear your point. Like, okay, here's what I think, right? I think the Sixers are like that bag of meat, right? Like, you took it out, but you put hot water over it to thaw it out and not cold water. And you let that shit out for like 5 or 6 hours. So like the meat's like really, really white. And it's like, is this edible? Maybe. I don't have another bag left. Do I cook it? Do I not? I don't know. Me personally, I'm not cooking that shit, Hayes. I'm throwing the Sixers away. Me personally.
Okay.
I don't know.
It depends on how hungry you are. It feels
Come on, Bama.
And that's where you fuck right there. That's gonna be your last goddamn meal.
No.
Ooh.
That's wild. All right, y'all ready to move into the next one?
Sure.
All right, bet. Let's get into Milwaukee. How do you guys feel about the Milwaukee? How cooked are the Milwaukee Bucks?
Can I start? I just want to say this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
It hurt me to say this, man. The only reason they cooked because of Dame's stubbornness. He should have did this move so fucking long ago, but he wanted to try to win his way in Portland, dog, until it gets to a point to where you make a move, it just don't make sense. He needs somebody that he can set a pick and roll with. Giannis really don't do pick and rolls. Giannis is more ball dominant. I think that's where it messed up right there, because I feel like that move with Dame, it was just a like what Hayes said. That's at least you got 6 months left. I'm just trying not to get poisoned, and he just got up out of Portland. It was just a bad relationship. We tried to do this over with, and he went somewhere where it just really didn't make sense. And then he went somewhere where it didn't make sense too late. Like, it's just too late in his career for him to be in a situation like what he in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's kind of cooked because it's a lot of self-inflicted wounds. They had no business getting rid of Drew Holiday. I don't care what nobody says. They had no business getting rid of Drew Holiday. They should have found a way to keep Drew Holiday. I mean, hanging on to Brook Lopez as long as they're trying to hang on to him. I don't know. I don't know really what they're trying to do, because when I see Giannis, he flying up and down the court 1,000 miles an hour, but you ain't got players to support that style of play with him. Like, so it's like, what are y'all really trying to do? Like, you had Drew Holiday. He had a good gear on him. He could also play defense on the perimeter with him. I don't know what's up with the boy Chris Middleton. He got hurt. I want to say they cooked, dog. It just, because see, them teams that be winning them championships, like, what was it, 2021 when they won? It's so hard for me to be like, oh, they cooked, bro. It's like, no, bro, they just literally won a hip and a skip ago, bro. Like, it'd be hard for me to just be like, oh, it's time for you to blow it. It's time for you to Phoenix it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to say that for the Bucks, because they was just right there. And I just see, like, bro, a couple wrong moves they made and kind of shifted them away. But I feel like you can redo them couple moves over and be right back in the same spot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like with them, their addition is by subtraction. Versus them other two teams we was talking about, they a puzzle where you got to find pieces to put this shit together and how to band-aid this together. I really feel like the Bucks, they're going to add more by subtracting, because I will say this, their star player is always available, Giannis. That is the one thing that's going to keep the star at the end of the time. Now, unless I've been hearing talks, I believe if somebody let Giannis come on their team with Giannis, it's going to get real ugly. But I will say this, to me, they aren't as cooked because Giannis is available.
I can respect that perspective, but they're cooked. And I'm gonna tell you why they cook. Number one for me. People are saying Drew Holiday should not have been traded from this team. And in hindsight, that sounds great, but I remember what those playoff games looked like. Outside of the championship run, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton were playing both extremely inconsistent offensive basketball, and it reached a breaking point for them where they just could not chain together good offense. And in that Heat series that they lost as a number 1 seed, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton were, in spots nowhere to be found offensively. And Drew Holiday, as good of a defensive player as he was, couldn't do anything with Butler in the Heat. So they figured, okay, by trading for Damian Lillard, we'll give ourselves a higher offensive ceiling to be, have someone to close our games in that moment that's not Giannis. Because as good of a player as Giannis is, when it comes down to closing out a game, you need like your wing player with ball handling skills to do that for you. And Chris Middleton's injuries, to me, is really what cooked this team. Because prime Chris Middleton, at least he gave you something defensively and could get to his shot consistently. The knee injuries, the ankle, like all of his lower body stuff has impacted how good of a player he was, which made it harder. But then also, Dame and Giannis both not being healthy, right? Let's be honest. Giannis has been healthy, right? During the regular season. But for the past 3 years now, at the end of the season, he goes out and is compromised in the postseason. We've seen that now, right? Dame, I'm sorry, but for him to have the same shit Wemby has with the blood thinners, I'm scared about that, right? And he's older. He's not like as young as what Wemby is. So for me, how I'm looking at it, this is another postseason where Giannis might be a first-round exit, even if he plays. And his contract is coming up soon, where he will have the option to be a free agent. So they might try to run it back one more year. They also don't have assets. A lot of people don't know that, but they traded away a lot of their assets as well. Their first-round picks are not there. So I'm also looking at them like, you guys are kind of cooked. The thing that's holding it together is Giannis, but the team around them has declined athletically year after year after year. And Brook Lopez is the big who's shooting the ball. He's getting older every single year. Like I just see a clear climax coming with this team. So I think they're in trouble. I think there's definitely things they're going to have to adjust and try to find in the offseason. But that's why I got to give them credit, though, Hayes, because they traded Chris Middleton. A lot of people say they shouldn't have.
That's part of the reason why I do think they're cooked, because when you make a trade and you're literally hoping that Kyle Kuzma is going to be the savior in some way, you're fucking cooked.
Oh, no.
You're cooked.
No. So, yeah, here's my theory, though. Again, I got theories. Trading him, the purpose of it to me was to get better in the short term, but this is more of a long-term thing, because by trading him, they got more flexibility to trade other contracts to actually, to salvage the roster. Obviously, Kuzma is not a better player at his best, but I still think the purpose of it was to just open that up. If they couldn't make moves on top of this, I would be like DEFCON 1 cook, right?
Yeah.
Let me throw another wrinkle into that for you real quick, Z, before you go.
Sure, go ahead.
If this would be the luckiest swing ever, they do have the Brooklyn Nets pick if it doesn't go in the top 5 this year. If for some reason the Brooklyn Nets pick is not in the top 5 and they get leapfrogged, how cooked would you think they are at that point in time?
Oh my goodness! If they were able to get like the 6th pick in the draft,
6th pick in the draft.
Okay, my thing is, are they going to draft the 6th pick? Are they going to try to flip it for more value? Like, what's question. I don't know, because like I feel like they just need a player that can just have a consistent floor, like a reliable player that's going to play the minutes, that is high IQ and hopefully more athletic. I'm just a bit nervous about them because this Brook Lopez shit, like having a 5 who can rim protect and shoot threes, is a very extremely rare archetype in the NBA. It just is. And at the end of the day, the duo of Dame and Giannis, I'm sorry, but I never bought into that shit, because I said Dame has always been at his best when the ball is in his hands. He plays free. The offense goes through him. Giannis is not setting screens. He's more ball dominant as well. And, like I do think it's cool. I'm just saying, in terms of like flexibility to maybe find something to get out of it, they have a chance more than these other 2 teams to me, at the very least.
Can Dame play more off ball? That would probably be the only way it hurt. So Giannis can drive and kick. That's kind of what Chris Middleton was eating off of, the drive and kick.
Yeah.
Is Dame willing? Do y'all think Dame is more willing to do that?
I mean, but but do they have a coach that wants to even try doing shit like that?
Well, yeah.
Like that. That's another thing we're not talking about. Doc Rivers with his actual adjustments to be flexible with things. I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Z. I stepped on you. Was about to cook. I felt it. Go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. Now, here's my thing. I want to just harp on the Brook Lopez, right? I mentioned, like Gipta said, having a center that can rim protect and knock down shots from the perimeter is a luxury to have and a rarity at the same time. The only issue is he's 37 years old.
Yeah.
So my issue with the Bucks since they won the championship isn't even the fact that they tried, because like if you look at what they did after they won, the formula they were trying to stick to was we found a core. We found at least we know we got, of course, Giannis and then Chris and then maybe Drew and then Bobby and Brooke. We got them. So, we got a little something here. But the thing that the Bucks didn't take into account was that the Eastern Conference was starting to catch up and teams were on the rise, like Gifted said, like Gifted alluded to with the Philadelphia 76ers, that you can almost apply the same thing to the Bucks right after they won the championship, because right after that, Boston starts clicking, then Cleveland, Miami was still had Jimmy going crazy, of course. So like all these teams started figuring out, okay, they just won the championship. That's great. He was cooking DeAndre Ayton. What if we throw Bam out there? What if we throw Evan Mobley and Jared Allen out there? What if we throw Kristaps and Al Horford out there? You know what I'm saying? So like all these other teams started figuring out if we can counter what they have with their biggest punch is Giannis Antetokounmpo on top of Chris Middleton dealing with injuries and becoming more inconsistent. You just kind of had the writing on the wall there. So then moving Chris Middleton, financial move, like to get them some sort of breathability, like W. Like Gibson said, Kyle Kuzma is not the saving grace for this team. He is not. Giannis, now I'm more inclined to agree with Bama here. Them trade rumors and or Giannis being out the door, Giannis has made it very clear since before he won the championship that if shit didn't look sweet, he would be having 1 foot out the door.
And that's why it's easy. I got to ask you a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Because this is the biggest thing about this whole topic to me. Do you think the Bucks have the balls to do what the Mavericks did and trade Giannis a season early? Do they have the balls to do something like that? Knowing that he might walk.
I think here's my answer. I don't think that they have the balls to do it. I think they have the balls to try and negotiate as much as they can to make peace. I think the only way that they end up doing it is Giannis forcing their hand, because Giannis is going to look at the situation and say, if, for example, say they go to the postseason this year and get bounced out of the first round, that nigga's gone. That nigga's gone. If he isn't gone, the rumors are going to start swirling even more, because at that point it's going to be, like you said, they're playing the luck game with the draft pick, right? With them potentially getting the next pick. They're playing complete luck with that chance. If they get bounced out of the first round and or second round and still end up, and say if the Nets end up in the lottery, where does their pick go from there? I didn't have a thing pulled up, but if the Nets get the fifth pick, where does that leave Milwaukee?
It's only if it falls lower than fifth, so it has to be six or lower.
Okay.
Man, the Nets probably got a top 5 pick this year though.
They better it'll be one of the worst lottery turn lucks if they somehow wind up with a pick lower than 5. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, shit, like, and the only thing, like I said, the only thing that I can definitively say with Milwaukee and their future is if shit starts looking bleak. Like, I know for a fact Giannis is more than willing to, especially with the way, like the Luka trade itself, Luka being moved in general, I think is going to probably have some retaliation from players in terms of, oh, we're going to try to get a little bit of player empowerment back. Like, y'all can't just do that when y'all feel like it. Let's try to get that back in blood with some player empowerment. Giannis be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm out of here. They ain't gonna hold this shit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like something like that is probably gonna take place to where the players try to just, get some level of control back to the players. What LeBron did and KD did, nothing compared to Luka Doncic getting moved by a fat ass GM that just said, you know what, defense wins championships. Luka, get out of here.
I just looked at the odds, and maybe it's not as bad as seldom of a chance. Right now, the Brooklyn Nets have the 6th worst record in the NBA.
Okay.
So unless they actually move into the top 5, that pick is going to Milwaukee.
Okay. Let the
That's gonna be
games
very
begin.
interesting for the draft. Okay, wow. Okay, shoot, I'm interested.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
That's a different wrinkle that I didn't expect coming into this. That's crazy.
Damn, that would be so crazy, man. But my thing is then, okay, like I think then the pressure that puts on the Bucks and now, okay, we have this pick. You gotta like make the right decision because you know we see oftentimes, right, where there are some drafts where the top 5 picks sometimes don't really turn into much, but that 7th or 8th guy like winds up becoming a star. Like Booker, Curry, like right. These guys that like appear towards the end of the top 10 draft wise go on to become, you know, the best players in the draft. Franz Wagner, you know what I'm saying? Like that happens a lot. So like my thing is, are we going to draft them and just try to figure things out with Giannis? Are we gonna like you gotta like really turn up in terms of what you're gonna do at that point? That's really interesting, Hayes.
Yeah, I had no idea. I went to look at their future draft picks and I saw that. I was like, wait a second. No, and the craziest thing about it is nobody's talk. I haven't heard anybody talk about the chance that the Milwaukee Bucks walk away with Brooklyn Nets pick.
Yeah, I've heard nobody say that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, let me just throw this stat to y'all because I just saw it. It says no player in NBA history has ever been in the top 10 in points per game, rebounds, assists, and steals in a single season. Nikola Jokic this year is top 3 in all of those categories.
That's a great
He's
stat
having
for
a
him.
generational season, bro. We're never gonna in our lifetime. We may never see another season like that.
Like yo, I kid you not. I kid you not. With Jokic, like he's the only center that I've seen, and I don't remember too much of like prime Dwight, what they were really saying about him when he was like right before the 2009 finals campaign run. Like even after that run, like right before he ended up in LA, were they looking at him like, damn, him going to LA, like they're gonna win it all. Like because they have Dwight Howard. He won 3 straight defensive player, all of these things. Like Nikola Jokic, though, offensively, we've never seen a center like him. Just in turn, when you look at offense as a whole, not just scoring, not just offensive reboundings or assists or whatever, like all true shooting, like we've never seen an offensive player at the center position like Nikola.
Well, you know the old head tell you, Wilt, don't
fuck that nigga. Wilt. Where's his 100-point game?
Damn. Damn.
Look, I'm telling you. Look, Wilt, rest in peace.
We had that man recording a song with James Brown, but it still ain't got no visual footage of that 100 point.
Yeah, you've been seeing a lot of other games. Yeah.
They got that.
I ain't got no footage of Will. I ain't got consistent footage of Will. Like I got enough footage to make me to understand how he was like that, but I ain't got enough footage to let me know how the hell he scored 100 points in a game. That's what I don't have.
Crazy. In the NBA.
Wait till somebody creates the AI footage of it, and then they'll say this is the uncovered footage we finally found.
Yup. They would.
All right. Any other cooked teams y'all want? I was gonna put Memphis on here, but I don't feel it's fair to talk about them as cooked yet, even though they fired their head coach and rumors of Ja being unhappy. But I think we got a little bit to wait for before we get to that.
Yeah. We got to see how that play out. We got to see what happens when Ja Morant has the ball back in his hands for a normal period of time, I guess. Shout out to Jenkins.
All right, y'all want to talk about PCL?
Let's do it. We doing
what about the this star question? That was a good one.
Oh shit!
Did you see that the super chat, Hayes?
Oh no, I missed it.
Yeah, that one. I actually responded to that one.
Yeah. Oh,
we can pull it up though.
Yeah. Appreciate the donation, by the way.
Chris, that's cool, bro. That's cool. He averaged
49
in the season. I'm averaging that on my career, bro. I'm averaging that on my career. Stop.
What's a realistic playoff matchup in the first round that's going to be a must-watch for you guys?
I think my response, I said Pistons, Knicks, Lakers, Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Lakers, Warriors is the one that is I feel like it's inevitable. We're going to see something.
That's going to probably happen.
Yeah. But of course, like, and I will say too, Lakers and the Warriors, like for them to obviously for what the Thunder have done this year, all the praise in the world, deserve it all, right? Historically great regular season. But the fact that the Lakers and Warriors are able to or have been able to stay as relevant as they've been able to stay in the 2020s, despite multiple different iterations of people coming and going and all of these things. We get to see now we get to see LeBron and Steph again, but this time featuring Jimmy Butler and Luka Doncic. Like that's cool.
Right.
To me. It's genuinely cool.
True.
And I mean, don't sleep on the first round matchups. Hawks, Boston, Orlando, Cleveland. I know, but I mean, based off like they played tough, lad. Like, bro, I know it's a new year, but
You're right about that.
I don't think it's just gonna be as boring as what people think. Like one thing.
Oh, it's not. No. This playoff,
the playoffs show you like the games where you think, oh, this is gonna be an easy. Well, of course we get like it's gonna be some games just easy dog.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's gonna be some games where it's gonna be a hell of a first round showcase, bro. Like I feel like the Cleveland and Orlando might go 6 games though.
We don't even know if that's going to be the case because they got to make it through the plane.
Well, yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah, but listen, Orlando being, I hope that Orlando can make it up to the 7th or 6th seed, depending on what happens with Milwaukee. But if it stays with the Pacers and the Detroit Pistons being the 4-5 matchup, that could be a fun basketball battle of offense, defense. I think that could be a very fun first round matchup.
That's just going to be, but the thing that's going to make that first round series fun, Hayes, is that's just going to be a sloppy series. Just like
facts.
You either don't have elite like levels of offensive production,
I love that,
or elite levels of defense, or just like immature hoops
in the mud hoops.
I don't know how to word it, but it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm gonna watch every second of that shit.
All right, bet. All right, PCL.
PCL recap. A lot happened this week. Do you want to start with the battle or the controversy? Which I want to do?
Honestly, let's get the controversy out the way.
Cool. Is it really any controversy? Go ahead.
It's not.
Yeah,
but let's just clear the air. Let's get the shit out the way.
Well, basically, if you missed it, there was a conversation being had with me and Penn that to me started over a basketball tape that I think he responded emotionally about, got in his feelings about, and then, proceeded to say things about me routinely when I wasn't there. And I just felt like the disingenuous points he was making were kind of off, and he got in his feelings about it. We hashed that out, I guess. He really continued to act like a child over and over, a lot of immaturity still. And Hayes got the brunt end of it because he was so in his feelings about me. He then came at Hayes and said, "Nah, fuck you, Hayes. Nah, fuck you, Hayes. This don't concern you." And the Hayes saw so much red shit. He said, "I'm not getting." I'm like, damn. God damn. I thought
let me clarify that. Here's what I meant by here's legitimately what I meant by that.
Yeah.
You're a good person. I'm an asshole. That's what I meant by that. So there was no shots towards you. Gifted is legitimately a good person.
I didn't even take it like that. I
don't give a fuck. All right, so that's what I meant by that.
I just want to fight.
But then like this again speaks to like the character that I've observed from Penn though. On his Twitter, which I don't know if you guys saw, he took clips of the conversation out to make it look like Hayes started some shit or I was in the wrong with Hayes, and it painted a nasty agenda. And to me, like people,
that happened.
Oh yeah. He didn't add anyone in it, so like you wouldn't see it, but he put it out, and he had a super chopped up clip where he sounds like he's making good points, and we're just lashing out and just crashing out for no reason to make it look like we're crazy, which again to me just speaks to like the gaslighting, all the other shit. It's just weird behavior to me. But independent of that, I think there were some pretty good PCL debates. There was a lot of good basketball conversations. But the last thing I want is people painting narratives when they're not actually watching the debates or watching basketball. I think these things matter. We had ZZ battle Ox yesterday. We can go there if you guys want to. I'm with it.
Also, man, I want to say this, man. Chat, everybody that come on here, bro, just have a good time, bro. Stop taking this shit so serious, bro. It's not the streets. It's not real life.
It's not the streets, I promise you.
This is a privilege, bro. This is some privileged ass shit that we do. Sit up in the crib, nice ass PCs, nice microphones, nice cameras, bro. We don't have to act like the big bad wolf, bro. Like, we can have fun, we can talk shit, we can talk, but it's just sports, bro. At the end of the day, it's just sports. Real life, like that's what I'm trying to tell folks. Real life, Gifted a cool ass dude, bro. Like dead ass, bro. Like cool as hell, bro. Like that's why I just be honest, bro. Troll. If you gonna troll, but don't get mad at somebody trolling, bro. It's just people trying to have a good time, make light of it. You gotta think about it. Some of these shows, PC 3 hours out the whole day, every day, bro. That shit get repetitive after so long. So of course, bro, troll, bring a little flavor to it, but everybody be trying to be serious. This is not ESPN, bro. This is not $1 million contracts on the line.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Say your takes, bro.
That's the tweet.
I got it up now. Once you said it,
that's just what I said, bro. Just have
this is it. I hope somebody clips this. This is all I got to say to it. I'm not flipping out no more. I'm keeping it business on PC because we got basketball shit to talk about. I'm gonna leave it at this. I said this before. I'll see y'all PC weekend. And that's all I got to say on any of that. That's it.
Fair. Yeah.
Hey, look here. I said this too.
As easy man, the hour was up.
To the point about that Bama was making. Look, about the PCL, let's just talk about that. Because honestly, I'm really not even that upset about it. I'm more upset that I wasn't able to have my first debate with Rev than anything. Because
that would have been
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like and the reason I say that is because this PCL I was actually really looking forward to when I found out the matchup, because I was like, okay, let me go make sure I know how his debate is. I'm like, okay, I see why they made this matchup a matchup. I had pages on pages of notes for that topic, right? For all three of those topics. This one, a little bit less notes, but I still felt like I had enough. Look, if you got Ox winning, I have no issue with that. 2-1 though. All right. Now, my opinion, I think it went 2-1 either way, based off of the first topic being apples and oranges of Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham, and B, that last damn topic.
That last topic cooked you. I just didn't know how you doing.
And look, to Ox's credit, W Ox for that, because off rip, he already hit me with you can't go this way. You got this tax. I said, God damn it, Ox was prepared. Yeah, so if Ox did win, my dog, wish nothing but the best for him. Same thing with y'all. I hope that y'all advance as well. I will say, Gifted, you and Jordan's debate was the one that I wasn't expecting it to be the way that it was. The topic that I think tripped me up the most, and I want your opinion on it too, is the Orlando Magic one. That was the one where I was really split hairs between who actually took that one. Yeah. But that was a tough one anyway.
So the Orlando Magic one, again, and like this goes back, ironically, to the pen conversation, right? Is a conversation to me that was frustrating from my perspective, because I told Ron in the moment, hey, this is going to be a question that's going to be polarizing, because if you make it about greatest and it's just accolades, all this other shit, and not actual play, people are going to lean Dwight Howard. If you make it about play, it's going to be Shaq. I asked him, which one is it? And then when you tell me that it's best center to play for, and like, it's funny because Penn saying in Magic history, when you played for the Magic, who was playing better basketball? And respectfully, Howard was elite. Yes, he had a elite 4 seasons. Guess how many seasons Shaq was elite for? 4 seasons. So like now it's like, okay, well who played better then? So to me, like my main point was making those points. And then I think the biggest thing about PCL that I care about is, regardless of who you think won, I just want people to watch it back and be honest. I watch all these debates back. I watched ZZ shit yesterday. I told ZZ in the chat how I felt. Like there were just, like I grade every debate in terms of what was said, what wasn't said. Did you lie? Did you not lie? Did you say something where I can take this to mean something? Like how clear and direct were you, right? To me, if you're just reading off a bunch of stats, but you don't have a strong point about like what they did or their skills, that's one thing. If you lie and say some shit like, I don't know, Isaiah Joe can guard 3 levels, I'm going to look at you and be like, that's not true. But let's see where you go with this. So to me, people aren't rewatching shit. They're watching it in the moment. they're making their opinion and they're standing on that. I think that's kind of weird, especially for a debate that is technically worth $5,000. Like, you kind of got to really like lock in on the points people are making and sift through the bullshit. Like, I'm seeing people say things that just aren't true, and then they're standing on it. Like, you got to back it up to me, right? But have some really good debates overall. I want to say huge shout out to Ox, because Ox stepped up way bigger this year than last year, for sure.
He did.
Ox is day night for Ox as far as like the last PCL to this one.
Yep.
I don't mean that as like a shot at Ox at all. Like,
no,
Ox is just, you can tell he's very prepared. He's
locked in.
He's locked in.
It's not even that. Mars brought up a valid point. ZZ agree with me, man, from the PC weekend we did. I don't think people like understand, like, in places like this where, you know what I'm saying, you got a topic, and I can kind of feed off of Hayes, feed off of ZZ, feed off of Gifted. When you going just versus one a mono, and then you got that little timer up at the top, like, I don't think people understand.
It's pressure
like,
on you.
You have to collect your thoughts and speak them like what Gifted is saying. Like, you have to sift through the bullshit and make your points quick without lying. And I don't think people understand how hard that is to do, because you can think of some shit, like you can, I'm gonna say this, but everybody up here know when it comes time for that PCL to happen, dog, like, it don't always go out. That's why
a lot of that shit goes out the window.
Gifted and Hayes, y'all too, y'all probably had some public speaking or something, but y'all are able to do it quick. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what my secret is? I have 6 fucking sisters. I grew up in a house with 7 women.
Real shit.
Every day was a debate.
Yeah,
every single day.
And look, to your point, Bama, about the PC weekend, for example, when me and Mars had to do that one-on-one about the college teams, I remember right before we got on camera, we was on the bleachers and we was talking about it, and I was like, yo, like, I wasn't really as prepared for this topic. And Mars was like, yeah, I just picked Jokic just cause. And I was like, all right.
Right.
And Mars was like, I'm literally gonna wing it. So I had a couple things, like some bullet points that I hit most of them, but I did forget one thing. And I remember after we finished rapping, I talked to Chill, and I was like, yo, like how you think I did? He was like, you left out one thing, and it was the national championship. And I was like, bro,
yeah,
that was literally one of my biggest, you know what I'm saying? And it's to that point in a one-on-one setting. In that setting, it was light. Bam, you remember it was lights and smoke and
really good production. Yeah,
everywhere. So like, you're
Absolutely.
just like, do I sound right? Do I look right? All this, you know. But it's a process. So yeah, to Ox though, I do want to say, my brother, you're cooking. Keep going. If you do advance, you deserve it. Keep going. I hope, my biggest hope, full bias aside, is that From the Logo is representing in the final 2 in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully, because if anything, if 2 of us make it out, because hopefully Gifted, you make it out of yours with Jordan. Hayes got a fucking shirt on that is telling us that he turned someone's TV off already. So we kind of know.
I think that should say Logan, but I feel you.
Oh,
and I'm sorry. Want to be clear? There's no bias. Like, I don't know how much y'all know, but chat, I literally, on my own platform, I go to playback and I literally watch these rounds, and it's crazy. Hayes, like, I spent like 4 hours yesterday. I was really free. I was pausing and playing rounds. I was fact checking what people said, and I was focused on the sequencing of how the points were delivered. Like, okay, he's mentioning all NBA seasons, this and that, but is he mentioning what he does well as a basketball player? Not really. So that might not help him out as much. Hayes did a good job to me of like focusing on the point, going back to the point, and then also like bringing up statistical data to emphasize said point. I feel like what people get really blinded by is making a case for their player, saying he's one of the greatest. He did this, he did that. But that means nothing if you're not emphasizing why it matters more than the other contestant. If you're just saying like, oh yeah, he's going to have a really good season, why does that put him over the other guy? You got to do that more. And Hayes, I think, did a good job of that. ZZ, I swear you were close. Like these rounds, I had you losing 3-0, but like if you made the points more focused in that realm, I think you would have really applied pressure to Ox 100%.
Let me tell you where the third rounds of each one of them, right? You were talking about. I remember you saying last week, you were like, if you get into that third round, because you were talking about how in the first piece.
I hate that third round, by the way. Still to this day, when they do PCL, like the biggest thing is easy that like people don't know is that when you're making points and shit, right? When you see that timer tick down, whatever your sequence is, like, oh shit, I gotta get to. So then imagine a third round where you can be interrupted and you like lose your train of thought at that point, right? Like it gets hard. It gets hard. So I feel you on that, bro.
Yeah. That was the one. That's the one area. Like immediately after, I was like, if there was one round where I was like, shit, it was a little, because I was thinking, all right, well, at least give yourself a little bit of time. For example, in the first round, Ox got off, like, I remember looking at the timer when Ox was talking in the third round, and I was like, all right, I got like a minute left to really get something off. I hate feeling that way, but it is what it is.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Ox,
and they put us in that position, so it's like, what else are you supposed to do when the third round is 3 minutes and Ron will selectively mute? So like he'll eat like. It would be different if he would like 100% at 1:30 mute the conversation.
Yeah,
but like no, like it's free. So to me, it's like, okay, if someone is trying to redirect the question to make people think it's some other shit, and I've been arguing one angle the whole time, I gotta emphasize, no. This is the conversation, and that leads to back and forth.
What gift is snap with it? What gift is snap with it? I'm not worried about what you talking about. I'm worried about what I'm talking about.
Because people like bro, I have noticed what people do a lot in these debates, and Hayes, you've been in many, you can attest. What people will do is they'll try to push their ideology on you, so you get lost from making your point, and you wind up losing because you weren't emphasizing your point. So I'm like, I'm not gonna give you no leeway for a judge to watch it back and be like, oh well, Gifted like brought into it, right? And Jordan's smart because he tried to make me pick Evan Mobley as the Cavs' best player to take away from my argument. I said, I'm not worried about what you got to say. Donovan Mitchell is their best player. I'm taking him off. That's my take. Just like I said, Shaq is the best Orlando player because he was the best player in the years, right? And you also got to point out the disingenuous points, right? If someone is using accolades for a argument, guess what you got to do, ZZ? You got to break that shit down. Yeah, he was first team for sure. But did he have to fight with Akeem Olajuwon? Or like,
I like that point that you brought up too. I like that point.
Context.
I was like, when I was watching the debate, I was like, because I like watching debates. And then the thing I love about the PCL the most, honestly, is that if you're just a viewer and you're watching and you don't have any bias towards the topic whatsoever, you may think one way about if you look at a topic and it's a pick 'em, and you might just pick one just because. But then as you're watching, you're like, okay, well, as I was watching the Magic one, I was like, you know what? The point about him having more elite centers to go up against during his time, that holds weight. That does hold weight. If somebody gonna tell me Wilt was playing plumbers, well, shit, what was Dwight playing during his peak years?
And like, even
in comparison to Shaq.
Yeah. And even independent of that, Hayes, the biggest thing I've noticed is our rounds be long as hell. Like, I was watching these shits back, and like to pause and play for every point for just one topic, I might have been there for 10, maybe 20 minutes, right? And then I'm realizing what happens oftentimes too is people will miss a critical point because it's such a long round and forget you made it. And that critical point might have pushed you over, but they don't catch that in real time. That's why I emphasize, if you got someone winning, fine, at least rewatch it to make sure like you caught everything and be like, all right, you know what? I got this guy. That's all I'm saying.
And I will. What's y'all's thoughts about? Because I do want to get y'all's thoughts on this. The Dion Mike thing. What's y'all?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let Hayes go first on that. I'm gonna let Hayes go first on that, boy. Look at Hayes' face, dog.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm gonna go recruise myself. I'm trying to stay out of drama, and my thought process on this is gonna be an ass. I'm trying to be an evolved human. I'll let somebody else take it.
All right, so I'm gonna say this, right? as someone who made sure to watch that debate, because I was hearing a lot of smoke about that.
Mhm.
All right. I had John D winning 2-1.
Mhm.
The funniest part about Deion's microphone is Deion wasn't even on that shit for real. It just was what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I swear to God, his microphone was so strong, he was eliminating words from John. Like John D's mic actually got worse.
Yes.
Somehow, some way, his microphone was so powerful, he took the words away from John D. But the funniest part, though, is it's not like Deion was cutting John D off first. John D was actually trying to cut off Deion. Deion kept
His
talking,
mic,
and
he couldn't turn that mic up, bro.
He couldn't fight back, bro. He couldn't fight back.
Listen.
It was tough, bro.
I'll say this, right? I've been very critical over Deion because I'm just gonna be 100% honest. He's not that good. He doesn't know basketball very well. But in these debates, it's not just about your basketball knowledge. It's also about how you present it. It's also about your style. It's also about all that. And Deion, you know what he is? He's a button masher. You ever play somebody in Street Fighter who doesn't actually know how to play Street Fighter? So they just keep pressing shit. And sometimes they'll kick your ass because they just pressing shit. They don't know what the fuck they doing. Somehow they didn't beat your ass. They don't know what the fuck that's Deion. Deion is a button masher in this debate. And having him in this debate against actual debaters, it's just crazy. And every time the chat, you know what it is? Deion gives hope to the people who don't really know how to talk basketball. Now
Deion do give people hope for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That's a fact. Yeah.
Absolutely my thing is though with Deion is like his hottest takes are the thing that like hinders him sometimes because like I remember when he first was coming on the show and everything, I was like, you know what? He may give hot takes, but you know, I like the fact that this nigga's from Ohio, so let me listen to him more. Yeah. And then they get into him and Chilltown had a debate in the last PCL. I don't know if y'all remember this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, they had that Anthony Davis and Tim Duncan topic, and Deion won. And I was watching, and I'm sitting here saying, I'm watching that debate live, and I'm like, yo, your button mashing theory is correct, but with Chilltown, like Mike was button mashing with Chilltown without his TV on. Like he didn't even have his camera on.
That was crazy.
Just like basically anything chill because chill too. Like he was a little nervous.
Sorry. I debated Deion twice last year in the PCL. I don't think he won a round. I'm not worried about Deion.
I would love to debate
Deion.
I
remember that debate. That was a murder. I'm not gonna lie. That Hayes was.
You think I turned Brack's TV off? I pulled the plug on his house. For Deion, he had no power, no electricity. It was
in the personal
house.
No power,
and he took the generator.
All latency.
That shit was personal. That shit was genuinely personal.
Oh, but did y'all watch the SB Chill debate? I watched that one last night.
I watched a little bit of that. People giving him credit for it, bro.
I don't know where people are at with it. I watched every round.
Yeah, what the people say?
So I saw a split. I saw some people who said Chill won. I saw some people have it SB. I don't think there was like a dominant take on that one. After rewatching it, for me, I have it 2-1. The heist conversation about the coin flip with Gale that wind Magic trade was a point. The only problem I had with that though is like the Luka trade, like SB focused on getting Luka Doncic. Chill was like, well, we don't know how it's going to end up with Luka, but that same logic should have been held for the coin flip because you don't know that you're getting Magic Johnson with that coin flip. That's kind of my thing about that.
True.
And right now, Chill's point, because again, I liked it on every point. Chill's point was, well, we do know because it wound up being Magic Johnson, but the leverage of the trade is okay. Like what is the ideal, right? It's a lot different if they knew if we do this trade, Magic's in it, right? You know, Luka Doncic is in it, and you're able to keep Austin Reeves in the deal. Right, the extra picks don't have to go out. Like I just think SB edged them out. It was a good debate. Now I'm not gonna hold you. One of the worst rounds to me, the final shit with the Cavs and the Lakers. OKC,
I hated that topic,
bro. I hate that topic the most because like the Cavs Lakers point, like it just felt like all narrative talk and not much like actual basketball matchup talk. Because even with Chill was so focused on the Celtics. I wasn't hearing nothing about Shea and like the MVP, this and that. Like he was so focused on the Celtics and their legacy and why it would be so important. That topic felt buns to me. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah. Nah, you're right about that. And that's another thing too with for example, with the topics like for example, me and Ox's first one, if we best player from the 2021 draft, I would have felt more comfortable, literally, and honestly, it probably would have been more fun, Ox, if you still in the chat attest, if we could have done besides Cade and Evan Mobley, because genuinely this draft class is good. Like, and then we could have broken into a Franz Wagner and Scotty Barnes argument or something like that. Like, it just would have been, besides the fact that everybody knows who the top two dogs are in the draft.
Yeah.
They've done some exclusion topics before in the PCL where it's like, okay, well, we can't, who's the top teams in the league besides the Thunder and the Celtics? All right, well, let's see what we got here. Who would you take it? What team outside of the Celtics do you think could beat the Cavaliers in a 7-game series? We can work with something there. But the exclusion topics, like, I feel like they should do that a lot more so we don't fall into that trap gifted of it becoming a narrative versus a fact, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you.
I
just I had Chill winning the round about OKC and Boston, but even then I feel bad because it's like he's only talking about Boston. But SB just wasn't doing enough to like convince me that I would rather see Cavs Lakers first round. But then the last one is about, okay, best duo. And it's like, shit. Chill just said Donovan Mitchell is going to be first team All NBA this year. I'm like, I can't go. I can't go. I just can't go. You know, but I mean, hey.
I will say this though. Speaking from like one way back, bro, when this shit was like Black Friday. We streamed like for 9 hours straight, bro.
Yes, bro.
This shit is pretty funny to see like how far this junkin' came, bro. Like the tournament style debate format, like dog, it's pretty unique. Not too many. I feel like PC the only platform that kind of did that. You know, it's easy to come up here and say some crazy takes, but it's a different thing when you gotta
actually do it with a timer and all that.
With a timer, and you got people that really know about basketball and they calling you. I mean, bro, shouts out, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to see where it is 5 more years into the future. I think
you gotta start. Listen, they gotta start getting some big names in here because I tell you what,
sure.
we gotta have a betting process.
I would absolutely cook in the debate.
I can agree
because I'll tell you this: you ever put me and Gilbert Arenas in the debate, I'm cooking them.
Oh man.
Call it out right now. Let's get Gilbert on from the logo.
I'm killing Gilbert Arenas. Period. But anything else, fellas, before we get up out of here? We passed our time.
Yeah, man. We'll see what's up. Let's focus on meaning what we say and saying what we mean. Hope everyone can just have fun with shit, but also like don't let people play with your top, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you being disrespected, stand up for yourself. Pop your shit off. Always. Don't let no one push no weak bullshit ass narrative. Stand on what you got to stand on. That's what I'm gonna say.
And keep it basketball. Please keep it basketball.
Just keep it hoops. It's not.
Like,
please
do. Deep, bro.
I say that coming from a place of like my introduction to Player's Choice was because I saw a clip of Shaq saying something stupid, and then I was like, oh. This is just where you come if you're dumb. And then they were like, you want to come to the show? Hell yeah. And then I was like, oh, all y'all cool as shit. Oh, all right. Shaq cool as shit. All right, for sure. All right. He didn't feel that way.
My dog buddy said it the best, man. People deal with too much in their actual real lives to come to the internet.
Bro. That's what I'm saying.
I always tell people this same exact time last year, dude, I couldn't even walk. Like, seriously, I couldn't even walk. I was crying in the bed, bro. Having bed sores because literally I could not walk for 3 straight months. I fucked my legs up that bad, bro. Like, so I always tell people,
they're only about 2 feet long. So that's devastating to you, bro. If you
that's some hard, that's right there,
rough,
man.
Bro.
Oh, man, you know, but you know, hey. My third leg was well taken care of.
Oh, right.
And
you know what? Listen, proper response. Hats off. Thank you guys for tuning in to From the Logo, man. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7:30 Eastern, every single Tuesday. So make sure you guys stay locked in with us, man. Love you guys.
Love y'all, man.
Peace out. It's a family show. Peace out, y'all. Get y'all next Tuesday, man.